Hello, doctor. My name is Timothy Yabzuon, and I'm going to present the nature of business. Partnership is the type of business Bohan, Oscar, and Mimi decided to operate. Based on Partnership Act 1961, Section 3(1), the partnership is the relation which subsists between persons carrying on business in common with a view of profit. There are three salient features of partnership. First, involves a relation between two or more people. Second, relationship involved is for business purposes and profit driven. Third, Bohan, Oscar, and Mimi will operate a business which is selling stationery and textbooks to UMS students. Under Partnership Act 1961, persons who have entered partnership with one another for the business purposes of this act called collectively a firm, and the name under which their business is carried on is called the firm name. Hence, our business name BOM Stationery Shop UMS is because B stand for Bohan, O stand for Oscar, and M stand for Mimi. This idea is taken from their name and become their firm's name. The aim of this business is to supply stationeries and prioritize this supply to students in UMS campus Kota Kinabalu. And the business must be licensed under Trade Licensing Ordinance number 16 of 1948. There are some most common way to form their partnership business, which is established in orally, in writing, or in words. Bohan, Oscar, and Mimi are agreed to create written partnership agreement. This involves a firm's name, a place, a list of partners and their commitments, the assets, the partnership accounts, benefit and loss sharing, and form of dissolution. As stated in Partnership Act 1961, Section 26 A, subject to any agreement expressed or implied between the partners, all the partners are entitled to share equally in the capital and profits of the business and must contribute equally towards the losses of capital or otherwise sustained by the firm. Okay, so they are share the profit and the losses equally.
Hi, my name is Azra Adrina. My metric number is BB19110255. I will talk about the legal procedure in the agreement business between Borhan, Oscar, and Mimi. Partnership is a formation of subsist between persons carrying a business in common with a view of profit. Basically, in this partnership, there is Borhan, Oscar, and Mimi that wants to starting a business supplying stationery and textbook for UMS students. The registration need to apply under the Trade Licensing Ordinance number 16 1948 because this business will be located in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. The license for business in Sabah should be valid as stated in Section 3(1). Under Section 5(1) and 2, every application of trading license need to be contained in details of the partner in the form. If there is a change made in the agreement, the members is liable to file or cause to be filed within 14 days of such change in statement. In writing, a prescribed form specify the nature and date of change. The fee for trading license is stated under Section 7, is followed by the first schedule and second schedule. So the first schedule is stated about the amount of fee, and the second schedule stated location of the business in the area. In managing a firm, all partners are entitled to share in managing the firm. In Section 26A Partnership Act 1961 state that all the partners are entitled to share equally in the capital and profits of the business and must contribute equally towards the losses, whether of capital or otherwise sustained by the firm. Under their partnership agreement, every member agrees to contribute capital as much as 7,000 ringgit Malaysia. So the capital contribute will be upon cash from every partner. The capital is contribute 50% by Burhan, while Mimi and Oscar 25%. No partner will withdraw any portion of their capital contribution without the express written consent of the remaining partners. Capital contributions may be amended from time to time according to the requirement of the partnership, provided that the interests of the partners are not affected except with the unanimous consent of the partners. No partners will be required to make additional capital contribution. So based on Section 26 Substitute C, any actual payment or advance beyond the amount of capital which he has agreed to subscribe is entitled to interest the rate of 8% per annum from the date of the payment or advance. In this business, any advance money to the partnership by any partner in excess of the amounts provided in this agreement or subsequently agreed to as additional capital contribution will be deemed a debt due from the partnership and not an increase in capital contribution of the partner. This liability will be repaid with interest of rates and terms to be determined by a majority of the partners within the limits of what is required or permitted in the Act. Thank you.
Hi, I will explain more about the things that we need on the partnership agreement. The first thing is profit and loss distribution. When we decide to join a partnership business, we must concern about distribution of profit and loss. Profit and loss. In the partnership, there are two conditions when decide to distribution of profit and loss. The first condition is every partner in the partnership share the same amount of profit and loss. The second condition is the share of profit and loss based on partnership capital that be shared by the partners. Another important part that must have on partnership agreement is partnership capital. Partnership capital actually is about how much of model they must share to create their partnership business. There are two conditions on partnership capital. First one is only one of the partner in the partnership share their own model to create the business. The second condition is every partner in the partnership share the amount based on their percentage model. For example, Burhan shared 50% of the model, Mimi shared 25% of the model, and lastly, Oscar shared 25% of the model. Another important part that must have on partnership agreement is book and record activities. These activities must be managed by one of the partner on the partnership, and he need to record all of the business transaction of the partnership, such as purchase, sales, receive, and property of the business. Second, he need to record all of the business transaction without having missing a single one. Third, these activities must be audited by the auditor that being hired on the partnership annually. Fourth, every partner of the partnership has an free access to look up at the business at the book and record activities. Last point, if one of the partner in the partnership buy or purchase anything for the partnership but use their own money, they can demand for reimbursement within the condition, which is first, business transaction really for partnership. Second one is any business transaction for preservation of business or business property. When they need to When they want a demand for reimbursement, they need to prove that with proof items such as receipt or any expenses of the business transaction. Another part of partnership agreement is financial statement. Financial statement actually a very common statement that every business must have, include partnership business. This financial statement must be prepared at the end of every year of the business by the auditor that being hired by the partnership. The next part of the partnership agreement is auditor. Actually, this auditor positions is really important to the partnership business. This is because these positions can help them to audit their business account every end of the month. This auditor can be inside or outside the company as long as there doesn't have any intervention from the inside of the company. Last but not least is bank account of the partnership. Every partnership must have their official bank account. This bank account is where they manage their sales and payment from the customer. Every partnership must have at least one of official bank account.
Hello, my name is Nurna Bilamuda. I will explain about method of dissolution. The partnership shall dissolve according to the Partnership Act 1961. In Partnership Act 1961, they have several methods to dissolve a partnership agreement. First method of dissolution is by Section 34 of Partnership Act 1961. According to the Section 34, partnership can be dissolved by expiration of the term, by termination, and by notice. In the notice, if any partner give the notice to dissolve the partnership agreement, if there is any specified date, so other partner should see the date in the notice. If there is no specified date on the notice, you can see the last communication of the notice. Method number two. Method number two is from Section 35 of Partnership Act 1691. According to this section, the agreement can be dissolved if the member was bankrupt, debt, and charged. For example, if Borhan was bankrupt, the agreement between the other two partners can be dissolved, or if Borhan was charged under separate debt, under Act of Separate Debt, so the other members can dissolve the agreement between them and Borhan. The third method is from Section 36 of Partnership Act 1961. According to the section, dissolution can happen by illegality of partnership. For example, the members operates business in nightclub business. So, while operates the business, the other members selling drugs in the nightclub. That is illegal. So, their agreement can be considered as dissolved. The next method of dissolution is from Section 37 of Partnership Act 1961. From the section, dissolution can happen if on behalf of the partners or friends make an application, the partners was lunatic or have an unsound mind. So, the court will be considered that the agreement between that person and the other member can be dissolved. The next method is from Section 37B and C of Partnership Act 1961. From the partnership, if partners unable to complete their agreement in partnership, the other members can claim to the court to dissolve the agreement between them. And dissolution also can happen if the members sue the other partners, the other members, because of the other members do something that can affect their business. For example, Borhan take bribes from the other parties, so it can affect their business, and it's also illegal. So they can claim to the court to dissolve the agreement between them and Borhan. The next method is from Section 37D. From the Section 37D of Partnership Act 1961. From the section, if the partner breach the agreement partnership, they can dissolve the agreement. For example, one members selling their business without other permission, so they can dissolve the agreement in the court. The next method is from Section 37E and F of Partnership Act 1961. From the section, dissolution also can make if the partnership only give a loss to the business, and if they settle their problem, they still get the loss instead of profit. So they can go to the court, make an application, and the court will bring a fair decision to dissolve the agreement.